Your brain is dying right now. And the worst part? You're probably doing at least 3 things today that are speeding up the process. I'm not talking about rare diseases or genetic conditions. I'm talking about everyday habits that millions of people do without realizing they're literally shrinking their brains. What if I told you that something you did this morning could increase your dementia risk by 40%? Or that a habit you think is harmless is actually causing your brain cells to deteriorate faster than normal aging? The science is clear, and it's terrifying. But here's the good news. Once you know what these habits are, you can stop them today. Let me share something that shocked me when I first learned it. Scientists can now predict dementia decades before symptoms appear. They've identified specific behaviors that consistently show up in brain scans as damage. And most people are doing these things every single day without a clue. Let's start with the most surprising one. Sitting for long periods is literally shrinking your brain. A recent study from UCLA found that people who sit for more than 10 hours a day have thinner brain tissue in the medial temporal lobe. That's the area responsible for memory formation. Think about your typical day. You sit during breakfast. You sit in your car. You sit at work for 8 hours. You sit during dinner. You sit watching TV. Add it up, and you're easily hitting 12 to 14 hours of sitting. Here's what happens inside your brain when you sit too long. Blood flow decreases significantly. Your brain needs constant oxygen and nutrients delivered through blood. When you sit, circulation slows down. Less blood means less oxygen. Less oxygen means brain cells start to struggle. Over time, they begin to die off. The hippocampus, which is crucial for memory, shrinks measurably. Researchers found that for every additional hour of sitting, brain volume decreased noticeably. But it gets worse. Sitting also triggers inflammation throughout your body, including your brain. Inflammatory markers increase when you're sedentary. These markers are directly linked to cognitive decline and Alzheimer's disease. Your body thinks you're in a low energy state and starts breaking down muscle and brain tissue. The solution? Stand up every 30 minutes. Take a 2-minute walk. Do some stretches. Even small movements make a massive difference in blood flow and inflammation levels. Now let's talk about sleep. Not getting enough sleep is one of the fastest ways to accelerate brain aging. During sleep, your brain does something absolutely critical. It clears out toxic proteins that build up during the day. One of these proteins is called beta amyloid. This is the same protein that forms plaques in Alzheimer's patients' brains. When you sleep, your brain's glymphatic system activates. Think of it like a dishwasher for your brain. It flushes out all the metabolic waste and toxins. When you don't sleep enough, this cleaning process doesn't happen properly. Those toxic proteins start accumulating. Night after night, they build up more and more. Eventually, they form plaques that damage and kill brain cells. Studies show that people who consistently sleep less than 7 hours per night have significantly higher levels of beta amyloid in their brains. Even one night of poor sleep causes a measurable increase in these toxic proteins. The scary part? Sleep deprivation is cumulative. You can't just catch up on weekends. The damage compounds over time. People who averaged 6 hours of sleep for years showed brain scans similar to people 10 years older. Their brains had literally aged faster. Memory centers were smaller. Processing speed was slower. The good news is that improving your sleep can start reversing this damage within weeks. Aim for 7 to 9 hours consistently. Make your bedroom dark and cool. Avoid screens an hour before bed. Your brain will thank you. Here's habit number 3 that nobody talks about. Chronic stress is physically destroying your brain structure. When you're stressed, your body releases cortisol. This is your fight or flight hormone. In short bursts, cortisol is helpful. It sharpens your focus and gives you energy. But when stress becomes chronic, cortisol levels stay elevated constantly. This is where the damage happens. High cortisol levels literally shrink your hippocampus. Multiple studies have shown this connection clearly. People with chronic stress have measurably smaller memory centers in their brains. Cortisol also damages the connections between brain cells. These connections, called synapses, are how your brain communicates with itself. When they're damaged, your thinking becomes slower and less sharp. Memory formation becomes harder. Decision-making suffers. But there's another mechanism at work. Chronic stress increases inflammation throughout your brain. It activates your immune system in ways that damage healthy tissue. This inflammatory state is a major risk factor for dementia. It also reduces the production of new brain cells. Yes, your brain can grow new neurons throughout your life. But chronic stress shuts down this process almost completely. The solution involves daily stress management. Meditation works incredibly well. Even 10 minutes per day can lower cortisol levels significantly. Exercise is another powerful tool. Deep breathing exercises. Spending time in nature. Find what works for you and make it non-negotiable. Let's move to habit number 4. Poor diet choices are feeding your brain the wrong fuel. Your brain is the most metabolically active organ in your body. It uses 20% of your total energy despite being only 2% of your body weight. What you eat directly affects how well it functions. Diets high in processed foods, sugar, and unhealthy fats cause massive problems. Sugar is particularly damaging to your brain. When you eat too much sugar, it causes inflammation and oxidative stress. These processes damage brain cells and accelerate aging. High blood sugar levels also damage blood vessels in your brain. This reduces blood flow and oxygen delivery. Over time, this leads to cognitive decline and increases dementia risk. Studies show that people with diabetes have double the risk of developing Alzheimer's. Even prediabetes significantly increases your risk. Trans fats and excessive saturated fats are equally harmful. They increase inflammation and damage cell membranes in your brain. Your brain cells need healthy fats to function properly. When you flood your system with unhealthy fats, they get incorporated into cell structures. This makes cells less flexible and less efficient. Communication between neurons slows down. The Mediterranean diet has been proven to protect against cognitive decline. It emphasizes healthy fats from olive oil and fish. Lots of vegetables and fruits. Whole grains and legumes. Minimal processed foods. Following this eating pattern can reduce dementia risk by up to 35%. Habit number 5 is social isolation. Humans are social creatures. Our brains evolved to interact with others constantly. When you become socially isolated, your brain literally starts to deteriorate. Loneliness triggers stress responses similar to physical pain. It increases cortisol and inflammation. It also reduces the production of protective proteins in your brain. Research shows that lonely people have faster cognitive decline than socially active individuals. Their memory deteriorates more quickly. Their processing speed slows down more. Brain scans reveal actual structural differences. Areas responsible for social cognition and emotional regulation shrink. The hippocampus becomes smaller. Even the prefrontal cortex shows reduced volume. Social interaction, on the other hand, is like exercise for your brain. It challenges you to read emotions, predict behavior, and engage in complex communication. Every conversation activates multiple brain regions simultaneously. This keeps your neural network strong and flexible. Studies of elderly people show that those with strong social connections maintain better cognitive function well into their 90s. They have lower rates of dementia and slower cognitive decline. The prescription is simple but powerful. Maintain regular social contact. Join clubs or groups. Volunteer in your community. Call friends and family regularly. Even brief interactions provide significant brain benefits. Habit number 6 might surprise you. Not challenging your brain with new learning accelerates decline. Your brain operates on a use it or lose it principle. Neural pathways that aren't used regularly start to weaken and disappear. This is called synaptic pruning. When you stop learning new things, your brain assumes those capabilities aren't needed anymore. It starts breaking down unused connections to conserve energy. This process accelerates with age if you don't actively fight against it. People who continue learning throughout their lives maintain stronger cognitive function. They build what scientists call cognitive reserve. This is like a backup system for your brain. When some areas get damaged by aging or disease, other areas can compensate. The more you've learned and challenged yourself, the more reserve you have built up. Learning new skills is particularly powerful. It forces your brain to create entirely new neural pathways. Learning a musical instrument, for example, activates and strengthens multiple brain regions simultaneously. Learning a new language does the same thing. Even learning to dance or play a new sport provides massive cognitive benefits. The key is that the activity must be genuinely new and challenging. Doing crossword puzzles helps if you've never done them before. But if you've been doing them for years, they're not challenging anymore. Your brain adapts and stops growing. You need to constantly push into new territories. Take classes. Learn new hobbies. Read about unfamiliar subjects. Keep your brain in growth mode. Here's habit number 7 that's incredibly common. Excessive alcohol consumption damages your brain in multiple ways. Even moderate drinking has been shown to accelerate brain aging. Alcohol is a neurotoxin. It directly damages and kills brain cells. It also disrupts the blood-brain barrier, allowing harmful substances to enter your brain tissue. Chronic drinking causes visible brain shrinkage on MRI scans. The frontal lobes, responsible for decision-making and impulse control, are particularly vulnerable. The hippocampus also shrinks significantly with regular alcohol use. This leads to memory problems and difficulty forming new memories. Alcohol disrupts sleep quality, even though it might help you fall asleep initially. It prevents you from reaching deep sleep stages where brain cleaning happens. This means toxic proteins accumulate faster. Studies show that people who drink regularly have higher levels of beta amyloid in their brains. Alcohol also increases inflammation throughout your body and brain. It damages the liver, which then can't properly filter toxins from your blood. These toxins reach your brain and cause additional damage. The research is clear. Any amount of alcohol consumption carries some risk to brain health. Heavy drinking dramatically increases dementia risk. Even moderate drinking shows measurable effects on brain structure and function. If you choose to drink, minimize the amount and frequency. Your brain will be healthier for it. Habit number 8 is ignoring hearing loss. This one catches most people off guard. What does hearing have to do with brain health? Actually, everything. When you can't hear well, your brain has to work much harder to process sounds and conversations. This extra effort exhausts cognitive resources that should be used for other functions. Over time, this constant strain leads to cognitive decline. Untreated hearing loss is one of the strongest risk factors for dementia. Studies show it can increase your risk by up to 5 times. The mechanism is fascinating. When auditory input decreases, the brain regions responsible for processing sounds start to shrink from lack of use. But the damage doesn't stop there. These auditory regions are connected to memory and cognitive centers. As they deteriorate, they drag down connected areas as well. Hearing loss also leads to social isolation. When you can't hear conversations well, you start avoiding social situations. This creates a vicious cycle. Less social interaction means less cognitive stimulation. This accelerates brain aging even further. The solution is straightforward. Get your hearing tested regularly, especially after age 50. If you have hearing loss, get hearing aids. Modern hearing aids are small, effective, and can dramatically reduce dementia risk. Protecting your hearing is protecting your brain. Finally, habit number 9 is smoking and exposure to air pollution. Smoking damages every organ in your body, and your brain is no exception. Cigarette smoke contains thousands of toxic chemicals. These chemicals damage blood vessels throughout your body, including the tiny vessels in your brain. Reduced blood flow means less oxygen and nutrients reaching brain cells. Smoking also increases inflammation and oxidative stress dramatically. Smokers have significantly higher rates of cognitive decline and dementia. Their brains age faster on every measurable parameter. Brain scans show more atrophy and damage. Memory tests show worse performance. The good news is that quitting smoking starts reversing this damage almost immediately. Blood flow improves within weeks. Inflammation decreases. Even long-term smokers who quit show improved cognitive outcomes compared to those who continue. Air pollution is the hidden danger most people don't consider. Fine particulate matter from car exhaust, industrial emissions, and wildfires can enter your bloodstream and reach your brain. These particles cause inflammation and oxidative damage. Studies in heavily polluted cities show higher rates of cognitive decline and dementia. Children exposed to high pollution levels show measurable differences in brain development. The effects are real and significant. Protecting yourself means avoiding high traffic areas when possible. Using air purifiers in your home. Checking air quality indexes and staying indoors on bad days. If you live in a polluted area, these precautions become even more important. Your brain is constantly exposed to whatever's in the air you breathe. So there you have it. 9 habits that are secretly accelerating your brain's decline. The terrifying part is how common these habits are. Most people are doing several of them right now without realizing the damage. But here's the empowering truth. You have control over every single one of these factors. You can start making changes today that will protect your brain for decades to come. Stand up more often. Prioritize your sleep. Manage your stress. Eat brain-healthy foods. Stay socially connected. Keep learning new things. Limit alcohol. Protect your hearing. Avoid smoking and pollution. These aren't complicated interventions. They're simple lifestyle choices that compound over time. The brain you have at 70 or 80 depends on the choices you make today. Choose wisely. Your future self will thank you.